Life is mostly chaotic and unpredictable. Car accidents, the onslaught of illness, the finality of death, and yet this uncertainty is precisely what drives the business model of insurance. Okay, so insurance works this way. The simplest way to understand it, right? So you have a person, let's call that person the insured, and they are scared that something is likely to happen to them. So they go to another person, in this case the company, the insurer. And so they pay the insurer, okay, a premium amount, saying that in the event of a certain occurrence, I want you guys to take care of me financially. Usually it's more complicated than that, but that's the whole idea. So let's say you are working and you take a medical cover. What you're actually saying is that, yes, while I may have money now, it could be the case that I'm sick and I can't afford the hospital bills. So the insurance steps in and pays the bills on your behalf. Basically, they take care of your insurable interest, which in this case is not the disease. It's not the disease, okay? It's not being sick. That is not what they're insuring you against. They're insuring you against not being able to cover those bills when you're sick, because that is your insurable interest. The problem is that whenever we sign these insurance contracts, it could be the case that there are things written in those contracts that we don't understand, or there are things written in those contracts that we are supposed to understand. So which are these things? In this video, we're talking about insurance clauses or insurance terms, okay, rather terms in insurance contracts that you must be aware of before you sign any insurance contract. Number one, exclusions. These are going to be events, these are going to be outcomes, these are going to be things that the insurance cover you're taking will not cover. And so you need to know them. In this case, we're talking about, okay, here's an example. Things like cosmetic procedures, experimental or investigational treatments, pre-existing condition. The assumption there is that if you're taking a medical cover, they may not cover those. It should always be the case that whenever you take an insurance policy, make sure you know things that are excluded from that policy. Be it a car insurance, be it whatever, house, whatever. The point is, whatever insurance policy you're taking, make sure, number one, you know what it does not cover, because it means when you need those things to be paid for, you are going to pay for them with your own money. Number two, deductibles. So this is the amount that you'll pay out of your pocket before the insurance policy kicks in. Let's look at an example there. Let's say you are about to take a car insurance policy with a $500 deductible. If you get into an accident and the cost to repair the car is $2,000, you would be responsible for paying the first $500 of the repair cost out of your own pocket, which means your insurance policy would then cover the remaining $1,500. And the reason why that policy will exist is so that it stops people from being careless just because they have an insurance cover. So you know that anytime I have to pay, or anytime the insurance people have to pay for this, I also have to pay. And so that makes you more responsible. So you always need to know that, because some people get surprised when they're told, no, before we pay, you guys have to pay this. And then they're like, no, these people are thieves. Yeah, well, you need to know the deductibles, okay? So at this point, I just want to remind you that before we move on to the next one, make sure that you sign up for our newsletter, all right? The newsletter, weekly newsletter, which we'll be sending, and the content will include summary, educational content notes, access to downloads, notification on all content we put on this channel. The point is, this is an educational channel, right? And so everything that you receive is going to be educational. We are not really going to spam you with things that you don't really care about. So sign up, link is provided in the description. And let's talk about number 3 thing that you need to remember when you're taking out an insurance policy. And this, in this case, will be the coverage limit. And that means the amount that the insurance can pay, and anything past that, you'll have to incur out of your own pocket. Meaning what? Again, let's use an example of a medical cover. Let's say you have a medical insurance policy with a coverage limit of $5,000 for the hospital room charges. If you are hospitalized for an extended period of time and your total hospital room charges exceed $5,000, you would be responsible for paying the difference out of your own pocket. Now, the reason why most people don't understand this, or the reason why most people, as simple as those things sound, is that when you're taking an insurance policy, usually you talk to a salesperson. That person is paid on commission, right? And so what do you think motivates them? What motivates them is to sign up as many policies as possible. And so they're not really going to explain anything to you. Half the time because they don't know, the other half is because they just want you to sign, and they'll tell you things that are interesting. Because again, think about it this way. With contracts, silence does not amount to misrepresentation. And as much as the insurance is, contract is one of those contracts that require disclosure, the disclosure is usually from your side. And also, they don't have to answer a question that you've not asked. So since you don't know what to ask, you'll just ask, how much will this cover me? Will this cost me? And does it mean if I'm sick, you'll pay? And then they'll be like, yeah. So you need to know this stuff. They may not really tell you that stuff. Anyway, number 4, renewal terms. You need to review the terms of renewing the policy, including any changes in premium or coverage. Claim process. Again, you need to understand the process of filing a claim and how long it will take for the claim to be processed. And then there is policy cancellation. You need to know that because sometimes it could cost you when you want to cancel a policy. It's not the case that you take insurance and then you just want to ride it all the way to the end. Sometimes you just want out of that contract. And so you need to know what will that look like. See this example. Let's say you have a car insurance policy with a 6-month term and you decide to cancel the policy only after 3 months. Your insurance company may charge you a penalty fee for an early termination, which would be a flat fee or a percentage of your remaining premium. Now let's assume your 6-month car insurance policy costs $600 and you cancel after 3 months. You may owe a penalty of $100, okay, that is 1/6 of your premium, which could be deducted from any refund you are entitled to. So of course the penalties will depend on the companies that you're dealing with. The point is you just need to know that. So all those are things that you need to know as far as insurance contracts are concerned. If you have any question regarding that, make sure you leave it in the comment section. If you want to know anything about insurance contracts, they are contracts, right? So if you want to know anything about insurance contracts, again, leave it in the comment section, okay? And then we'll answer it in an upcoming video. I'm Moses, and I'll see you in the next video.